construction work always is disruptive. But actually, this is a good kind of disruptive, because it means that when it's done, you're going to have an incredibly world-class mobility kind of experience.
Hello, good day, welcome. I'm sitting here with the amazing Mikhail Manuel, Chairperson of the Urban Mobility Portfolio within the City of Cape Town. Welcome, Mikhail.
Thank you, Joseph. You're very kind. It's a kind introduction.
Yeah, a visionary leader, a man who's a strategist. I had the privilege to work with him on various campaigns. Very intelligent. Mikhail, how did you land up with the deal?
I studied civil engineering. I knew I didn't want to be an engineer. I think if I had to design anything, it would probably break. But at the same time, I really cared about the general public and how that affected people. After doing a lot of sort of outreach type work, trying to help in that way, I quickly realized that actually active politics, government politics, when in the hands of the right people, can be exceptionally influential. And so that's why I was really keen on a party that has liberal values. I believe that that's the right way to do things. It accounts for everybody. It treats everybody equally. And so I, kind of realized this is the party for me to be a part of. And the fact that I get to serve in the government now is like a cherry on the cake.
A bit of a philanthropist. You work for the party for free. Tell us about that.
I mean, I was a paid staff member for a little while. I won't lie, not entirely free. I think it was the 2019 election. I worked for the party for about 9 months. I was what they called a constituency coordinator, which at the time, it means I call them the hunt runners of the party. You really must be willing to grind and to drive and to be up late and a lot, because the other part that the vast majority of our activists do, who are the real heroes of the party, is entirely for free. You sit at that voting station, you help out with election day, you make phone calls and you do it. Quite frankly, it's thankless. But at the end of the day, we're winning awards. We're changing communities because we are so willing to give our time for those kind of calls.
And we are so grateful that you actually put up your hand to become a councillor. That jump.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a bit of a stumble into it. I always remember my father, who, I grew up in George, in an area called Navalia, and across the road from our house was a massive park. And there were people who would park in the park and play music and drink, and there'd be broken glass and the swings would break. And my dad was always the guy who argued for a light in the park, who argued for more trees, who went and fixed the swings himself. And I didn't realize how much that impacted me until I got to university and I finished my studies. And I then kind of knew I wanted to do that. And the fact that you can turn that into a career that many people, I think like yourself, have done it for 10 or 15 years is inspirational. So, yeah.
Mikhail, and now you are the chairperson of urban mobility. And then I saw those videos of that I must drive a bicycle rather than drive a car.
Yeah. Before I came into council, I worked for about 10 years or so in the academic space, all in urban mobility, all around climate change, taxis. I'm particularly passionate about minibus taxis. I know we both love and hate them. We love to love them and we love to hate them. But really, they are the bread and butter of so many households in the city. And they move hundreds of thousands of people. So I'm exceptionally passionate about minibus taxis, exceptionally passionate about buses. And the fact that our trains don't work right now is a real blight for our city. But if we're going to get it right, if we're going to get devolution right, then those trains are going to be better than we ever imagined. I always say the things that we could do as a city government for trains is so much more than what the national government can do for trains, only because we already hold the planning function. We already engage with US taxes all the time, with Golden Arrow all the time. So the fact that was my background before council, it became a natural thing for me to then serve as the chairperson of the oversight committee.
And you work very well with the taxi association. You understand each other.
It's a tough environment to manage. There are going to be times when we disagree with each other. If we impound a taxi because they've broken the law, they've broken the law, and impoundment must happen. It's part of the law. But of course, there are times when they deserve credit. The other day there was a kind of road rage incident. I think in Maitland it was, and Santaco barred that particular driver from ever driving a taxi in South Africa again. That's impactful. You don't traditionally see taxi associations taking a stand like that for the rule of law. That's the line we take, and we have a good relationship because of that.
You're spending millions and millions and millions of rands in Mitchell's Plain, and somebody's complaining about that. Does he understand why it's happening?
We had our awards event the other day in the Urban Mobility Directorate where we honor the the officials who really are giving so much of their time to try and build Cape Town. And in that awards event, I made a joke and I said, people are angry in Mitchell's Plain because of all the congestion, of all the construction congestion, but really they're angry at you because you're the one that's digging the hole, you're the one that's building the road. Now, construction work always is disruptive, but actually this is a good kind of disruptive because it means that when it's done, you're going to have an incredibly world-class mobility kind of experience. Whether you are in the bus, whether you're on a bicycle, as you say, whether you're in your car, your roads are going to be world-class because we are undertaking this massive kind of renewal, if you will, of the Mitchells Plain area. Whether it is my city or whether it's just a normal road resurfacing that's happening everywhere, I think we all know how frustrating people find it.
When Mikhail is by himself, what does Mikhail do?
Oh, my word. I used to play piano a lot as a kid, and I'm trying to teach myself piano again. So I do a lot of that these days. I thoroughly enjoy a good book. At the moment, I'm reading a book that it's about being out in space or something of that nature. They're still in the spaceship. They haven't left the spaceship. I'm about halfway through the book. We'll see how far it goes. So I really enjoy reading. I enjoy spending time with my friends. Good braai every Friday or Saturday. It's really fun. But yeah, kind of laid back things like that.
What's next for you?
What's next for me? Another term in council, hopefully. I put my hand up again. I really do want to serve another term. There's a lot that still needs to be done in the urban mobility space, whether it is fighting for rail devolution, whether it is improving my city, whether it is where cycling makes sense, arguing for people to use bicycles more, or whether it is in the area which I oversee in the southern suburbs, driving projects there's a lot more that we can still do. And so I'm really excited for the next term.
Super proud of you. Thank you for the amazing work you're doing.
Thank you.
And may you go from strength to strength, power to power. Final words out there for a young Mikhail.
A young Mikhail, sure. I would probably say it will get very hard, but you must push on. The people who influence the most are those that can endure the most. I know a friend of mine, her son has just finished matric and is about to go to varsity. And the one thing I said to her was, you need to tell him, don't stop. Don't stop. Just make sure that you finish your degree. You push on the whole time. And the same thing is true for the issues that we're fighting for. Today we might not have rail devolution. It might look a little bit like the president's not going to do it. That's kind of what it looks like. But we're going to push on. Why? Because it's the right decision for the people of Cape Town. That's the thing. And if you're doing the right thing and you keep going, you're going to make it in the end.
Thank you.
Sure. Pleasure.